Li Minghao, Awakening Result, E-Rank Talent, a warm flame. That's it. That's the announcement. A magic circle the size of a swimming pool, a voice like God's own loudspeaker, 3,000 students holding their breath, and it uses all that production value to tell everyone that my superpower is being slightly cozy. A warm flame, not a fireball, not an inferno. Warm, like a cup holder, like a heated toilet seat. The kid 2 spots before me turned into a giant, and I get the elemental equivalent of a scented candle. So let me back up about 30 seconds, because I'm standing in this crowd having a very complicated morning. My name is Li Minghao, and until recently, I was a web novelist on Earth. I wrote Transmigration novels for a living. Then I went to a writer's conference, had a few drinks too many, and woke up inside one. The universe has a sense of humor, and it is not subtle. This world is called Blue Star, and the elevator pitch is simple. Monsters called vicious beasts eat cities, ability users kill the monsters, and every kid on their 18th birthday steps into a magic circle that assigns their entire future in one sentence. Ranks go from F at the bottom to SSS at the top, and SSS is basically a rumor with good marketing. Most people get E or F and go live small, careful lives. Right before my turn, the circle exploded. A phoenix cry ripped across the sky. Actual flames wrapped a girl on the platform, and a burning bird the size of a bus circled her like she'd personally hired it. Shui Lan, S-rank talent, phoenix flame. Not even from our school. Some clan girl with a background so heavy the city lord reportedly bows to her. She stood there in the fire looking like a movie poster, hopped off the platform, and walked out without a word. The principal looked like a man watching a winning lottery ticket blow out the window. Wrong school, old man. Her achievement belongs to somebody else's brochure. And then me. Warm flame, E-rank, the heated toilet seat of destiny. I know exactly what an E-rank means here. It means I cap out as a low-level ability user, guard a wall somewhere, and spend this life the way I spent the last one, working overtime for a boss who calls me family and pays me like a stranger. I died once already to escape the 996 grind. I am not doing the sequel. And apparently the universe agreed, because right there in the circle, something dinged in my skull. Host detected. The ultimate achievement system is now unlocked. New player gift pack has been distributed. I nearly bit my tongue keeping my face straight. A system. An actual system. Do you understand what that word means to a man who wrote 40 of these novels? That's not a power-up. That's the author of the universe sliding into my DMs and saying, "Kid, you're the protagonist now." I walked back to my class line with the dead expression of a man who just got E-ranked, while inside my head I was interrogating my new best friend. The pitch is simple. I do impressive things, I get achievement points. Kill beasts, points. Climb the social ladder, points. Spend the points on rank, on skills, on cultivation techniques. In other words, the system pays me for winning, and then I use the salary to win harder. It's a pyramid scheme where I'm the pyramid. Open the newbie gift pack, 100 achievement points, and 1 S-rank talent advancement card. I read that description 3 times. The card takes my talent, my sad, room temperature E, and advances it to S-rank. This world produces a handful of S-ranks per generation, and every single one of them is guaranteed to grow into somebody who runs a region. I had one in my backpack, digital and shiny, next to my compressed biscuits. I did not scream. I want that on the record. I stood in formation, listened to the principal congratulate 1,086 E's and F's on their bright futures, and did not scream once. Home is a penthouse in the rich part of town. My parents died when I was little, and my aunt took me in. Li Mei Ling, soft voice, gentle smile, looks like she's never raised her voice in her life. She's also a tier 2 ability user in a city where the strongest man alive is tier 3. My aunt could bench press the school board. Xiao Hao is back, she calls from the kitchen, and something in my chest goes stupid and soft. 2 lifetimes, and this is the first kitchen that's ever been glad to see me. My cousin Guo Ruoshi bounces in at dinner. 15, sundress, face like an angel, energy like a puppy in a phone store. Brother Minghao, I'm so jealous. You've escaped homework forever. Yes, by flunking the genetic lottery in public. Great trade. Then my aunt asks the question, careful, like diffusing a bomb. What did you awaken? E-rank. A warm flame. The table goes quiet in that specific way where everyone's already rehearsing comfort speeches. And my aunt just says, whatever you plan to do, your aunt will support you. I'm not crying. I'm strategizing. There's a difference, and it's mostly in the eyebrows. But I make myself a quiet promise right there over the soup. This family gets repaid. In full. With interest. Out loud, I ask for 2 things, a fire skill and a ticket to the bamboo path, a beginner secret realm full of wood element beasts. Wood versus fire. I may be E-rank, but I can read a type chart. My aunt pulls an old manual out of her storage ring like it's a coupon. Blazing flame slash, E-rank, condense fire into a big blade and hit things. Perfect. You don't give a new driver a rocket. You give him something he can crash safely. That night, door locked, I take out the card. System, use the S-rank advancement card. And keep the light show to a minimum. My aunt's family is asleep, and I'd like them to stay that way. The system did its best. Its best was a bomb going off inside my bones. Fire tore through me, condensed into a pillar of golden light, and out of it came a bird, a 3-legged crow, feathers like hammered gold, eyes with more royalty in them than most royals. It circled me once and dove into my forehead like it was clocking in. Congratulations, host. Talent advanced to S rank, Golden Crow True Fire. Achievement complete, Golden Legend. Reward, 9 Yang Heaven Burning Art, first 3 levels. The follow-up prize was a cultivation technique, and reading it made my writer brain itch, because I've written this exact item description before. 9 suns, temper the body, burn heaven and earth. 10 levels, each one worse news for everyone who isn't me. The first 3 levels alone rate S. If the full version is an SS, I'll eat my keyboard, and I don't have a keyboard anymore, which shows you my confidence. Meanwhile, across town in the City Lord's mansion, a Tier 3 powerhouse, the strongest official human in this city was pouring tea for the Phoenix girl and calling her Young Miss. Shuilan wanted a secret realm booked for practice. The man who runs 1 million people said, "Yes, sir, right away, sir," to a teenager. That's the weight class strolling around my hometown. Good to know. Filed under later. Morning, Secret Realm Hall. Dozens of glowing doorways, each one humming a different flavor of danger, and mine says, Secluded Path of Green Bamboo. 7 days on the ticket. The suction grabs me and spits me into a bamboo forest so peaceful it's obviously lying. First order of business, spend money. 20 points into Blazing Flame Slash, and the knowledge just installs, like the system shoved a training montage directly into my arms. I swing at an old tree. The flame blade bites a foot deep and cooks the vines off it for good measure. That is not E-rank output. That's the Golden Crow juicing the skill from underneath. Same technique, different engine. The way a go-kart chassis behaves differently with a jet strapped on. 50 more points into rank. First tier early stage to first tier middle stage. Just like that. Energy flooding my meridians like someone finally paid the water bill. Then, the first beast finds me. A leaf mantis. First tier middle stage. Sickle arms. Mean little face. Same rank as me now. Technically, a fair fight. I punch it once. It ignites from the inside and dies. The mantis and I were equally surprised. Somewhere in the fine print, 9 Yang Heaven Burning Art has been quietly rebuilding my body, and the punchline is that a fair fight stopped being possible about 1 sunrise ago. Ding, achievement complete, first vicious beast kill, 100 points. Ding, achievement complete, first tier 1 kill, 50 points. Wait, there are first kill achievements, which means there are 10 kill achievements, which means there are 100 kill achievements. I look around at this peaceful, beast-infested forest and see it for what it truly is, a warehouse full of unclaimed paychecks with legs. The next few days are honest work. I hunt, the system pays, I reinvest. 10 beasts slain, 200 points. My fists find a rhythm somewhere around the 40th corpse, and the fist technique I failed to learn for 3 years just clicks. Turns out practical experience with live ammunition beats gym practice. Rank up, skill up. First tier late stage. Blazing Flame Slash to proficient, then mastery. 3 realms in 1 day, which in this city is not a growth curve, it's a typo. Then, deep in the realm, a scream of burning air. Somebody's fighting. I need practice. Other people's fights are free content. I head straight for it. It's her, Shuilan, red dress like a walking bonfire, spear wrapped in phoenix fire, standing over a dead wolf the size of a van. She loots it into a spatial ring with the bored efficiency of a girl doing chores. Who's there? Come out. She made me from 30 meters through a bush. Sharp senses, sharper spear, currently pointed at my chest. I stand up with both hands raised in my most law-abiding smile. Same school uniform, no hostility, big fan of your work. She sizes me up and I watch something flicker across her face because her instincts are telling her the shabby E rank in the bushes is dangerous and her instincts are embarrassing her, so she puts them away. Then she does something I genuinely did not have on my bingo card. She challenges me to a spar. If I survive 3 minutes against her, she'll pay me a tier 3 spirit medicine. That's a treasure worth tens of millions that appears in this city maybe twice a year. Rich people bet the way I used to order takeout. And if I win, I ask? She looks at me the way you look at a dog that just asked for the car keys. Then, amused, she doubles the pot, the medicine plus an A-rank skill book on loan. We square up. She's first tier minor extreme, clan fed on treasures since birth, spear technique at proficient. On paper, she stomps me. On paper. My paper has a system on it. I raise one hand and Blazing Flame Slash comes down as a 10-foot blade of golden fire. She meets it with a sweep of Phoenix Flame. The 2 fires detonate against each other and she skids back 5 steps, arm numb, energy scrambled, while I stand there fresh as laundry, already holding the next slash overhead. Shall we continue? She grits her teeth. Pride wrestles arithmetic. Arithmetic wins. I lost. And here's the thing, she takes it clean. No excuses, no tantrum. She just asks the real question. That golden fire is Golden Crow True Fire, isn't it? One of the 3 great S-rank flames, sibling to her own Phoenix. She tells me the loss is temporary and she'll want a rematch at next year's university tournament. And she says it with her back straight, like losing is just cardio for her ego. I watch her go and feel the smallest twinge of guilt. She thinks she lost to talent. She actually lost to compound interest. The lady has connections. I have cheat codes. History suggests my side wins. A few days later, deep in the realm, a thorn treant tries to make me its houseplant. First tier, great perfection. 2 whole realms above me, a tree demon the size of a building, vines like a cargo port, and cunning enough to keep its real body parked behind a wall of green while its arms do the mugging. Time to open the new toy. By day 3, I'd cleared 100 beasts slain, and 1,000 points bought me entry into 9 Yang Heaven Burning Art proper. 9 Yang Heaven Burning Art. First level, 1 Yang realm. A sun ignites behind my head, an actual small sun, hanging over my shoulder like the world's most aggressive desk lamp, feeding warmth into my bones and dread into everything photosynthetic within a mile. The technique came with a bonus move, and I've been dying to say the name out loud. 3-legged golden crow. The sun screams. A golden bird made of fire launches off my fist, and the air itself catches fire in its wake. Vines turn to ash on contact. Not burn, ash. Do not pass go, ash. The crow hits the treant's real body, and the explosion digs a crater, blots out the sky with dust, and when it settles, there is no tree demon. There's a suggestion of powder where a tree demon used to have opinions. I stand in the crater, going through the 5 stages of acquiring a signature move. 1 cast, 2 realms up, deleted. The catch, the sun goes dim after 1 crow, and refilling it takes about a week au naturel. So it's not a machine gun, it's a nuke with a cooldown. Fine, every protagonist needs 1 button he's saving. That evening, the system pings me with homework. Task issued, the college entrance examination. Top 100 in the province, 1,000 points. Top 10, 1,500 points plus. 9 Yang levels, 4 through 6. First place, all of the above, plus the achievement title, Favored Son of Heaven. The title's the sleeper hit. Wear it through university and it pays out achievement points every single day, scaled to how famous I am. The system, in its infinite wisdom, looked at my past life of unpaid overtime and decided my cheat should include passive income. I'm getting emotional. My golden finger has a pension plan. The daydream lasts 3 seconds. University, admirers, someone's offering to cook me noodles before I slap myself back to reality. All of it hangs on one condition. First place. In the entire province. I walk out of the secret realm at dusk, first tier middle extreme, 5 realms fatter than I walked in, with a fire crow in my chest and a very specific line item at the top of my to-do list. At home, Guo Roshi hits me at the door like a small guided missile. She'd been pacing the living room all day because nobody told her cousins come back from training in one piece. My aunt is calmer for exactly 4 seconds, which is how long it takes a tier 2 to read my cultivation. Xiaohao, you're middle stage of the first tier? She grabs my arm and runs her energy through me on the spot, checking for the classic idiot signature, pill abuse, hollow foundation, fried meridians. Instead, she finds a foundation like poured concrete and meridians a great perfection would envy, and her face does something complicated between relief and awe. I mumble the word every transmigrator keeps loaded for emergencies. Opportunity. Lucky encounter. You know how forests are. She's already planning. With this rank, maybe a top 10 federal university. Maybe, someday, tier 3, like the city lord. Her ambition for me maxes out at the ceiling of everything she's ever seen, and she says it glowing, like it's greedy to even dream it. Auntie, I think, spooning her soup, aim higher. Your nephew's ceiling got demolished last Tuesday. Tomorrow, the exam. Tonight, the whole city is quiet, and somewhere out there 10,000 seniors are praying to squeak into the top 100. Sleep well, classmates. First place is spoken for. Exam morning. My aunt stops me at the door and presses an alloy battle knife into my hands. E-grade, the maximum the exam allows. Cold and clean and heavier than it looks, because it's not just a knife, it's a mother hen with an edge. I spent 3 years before awakening failing to learn blade technique and fist technique. One of those problems fixed itself in the bamboo forest. The knife and I have unfinished business. The format drops on the bus, points-based hunting in a fresh secret realm the military found this year. Outer zone for the humble, inner zone for the brave, and a core zone stocked with intermediate stage beasts and at least 1 grand apex monster, which, our homeroom teacher clarifies, is not for us. It's there for fairness, in case an actual prodigy shows up. Nobody's entering the core this year, he says. I look out the window and smile at my reflection. Sir, I appreciate the setup line. The staging ground is all soldiers in steel. The garrison commander himself, Wang Jianyu, runs the briefing with a voice that doesn't need a microphone and a face that's never needed a joke. We each get a points watch, compressed biscuits, and a safety ball. Crack it, and a shield saves your life at the cost of your exam. Every year, some kids don't crack it fast enough. This world doesn't grade on a curve, it grades on survival. While we wait, a 4-man team strolls up and offers me a slot. They need a fire user. I say I'm working alone, and the leader's face does that little spasm of a man rejected by someone he was doing a favor. Walking away, he mutters, just loud enough, a tiny flame, acting all superior. I heard that. I don't turn around. I don't raise my voice. But something in the 2 words makes his whole group go quiet and rearrange their spines. They can't explain why the E rank makes their hindbrains itch. Their hindbrains are the only smart thing about them. 9 o'clock. A silver gate the size of a cathedral door swallows 10,000 teenagers. And the moment we're through, the sky above the staging ground lights up with the live broadcast. Tens of thousands of hidden cameras, drones on every promising kid, the whole province watching. families, schools, the Education Bureau. My daily reminder that this world treats its college entrance exam like the Super Bowl, except the ball fights back. Everyone else fans out into the outer zone to farm bunnies. I walk straight through it. Outer beasts die to 1 slash apiece, and I don't slow down to loot applause. My target is the core zone, population, monsters nobody's supposed to fight, competition, 0. Every beast in there is worth more points than a whole afternoon in the kiddie pool, and the whole buffet has my name on it. Checkpoint by the border, I open the leaderboard. First place, Zhou Lei, the B-rank Wind Shadow Assassin from Second High, 850 points, sprinting ahead of the pack like the main character of a much smaller story. And me? 8,006th place, 25 points. Beautiful. Everyone loves a comeback arc, and I write them professionally. The first core zone resident to greet me is a green-eyed ape, first tier intermediate, a wall of muscle and golden brown fur with a stare that's killed more graduates than student loans. It leaps, fist raised, aiming to turn my head into a watermelon demonstration. I don't dodge. I meet its fist with mine. The crack of its arm breaking gets swallowed by the boom. The ape flies backward like a kite with its string cut and folds around a tree. One punch. My watch ticks from 25 to 550, and somewhere above the staging ground, a drone quietly promotes me to main screen. Here's what I can't see, but the whole province can. My name teleporting from 8,006 to 57th. The team that sniffed at my tiny flame going pale around their campfire. And on the ground outside, the Education Bureau director spitting coffee, demanding replays, watching an E-rank punch an intermediate ape into furniture, and inventing, live, on camera, the official cover story of my life. Ability mutation. Legendary. Theoretical. Until now. Sir, I could not have written you better. Actually, I have written you before. Chapter 12. Every novel I ever sold. Deeper in, I put the knife to work. Find beast, draw, cut. Next. Somewhere around the 15th kill, the blade goes weightless in my hand and something clicks behind my eyes. Blade technique. Entry level. 3 years of failure paid off in one bloody afternoon. And with it, a memory. A pack of 30+ Gale Wolves I detoured around on day 1, led by a Wolf King at Grand Apex. Back then, discretion. Now, points. I find them by their howls. Or they find me. 30 wolves in a closing circle. Eyes like green lanterns, and the king in the middle. Silver-white, twice everyone's size. Smart enough to send the troops in first. Good. I need the reps. The pack comes in waves and the knife writes receipts. 3 heads off in the first exchange. I move through them like a rumor, every cut landing where necks keep their important parts. When the floor is fur, the king charges, and this one's real. Our first clash numbs my wrist and costs me 3 sets. It flickers into wind lightning speed, claws spark off my blade, and for a few honest seconds we are trading like equals. Then I wrap the blade in Golden Crow True Fire and Equality Files for divorce. The fire catches its fur and will not go out. That's the thing about my flame. It has no off switch and no mercy setting. I chase the burning king across the clearing, take its claws, then its balance, then its head. The watch spins up like a slot machine and lands on 17,550. Outside, I'm told, the venue went through the following sequence. Silence, disbelief, someone checking whether the scoring system was broken. Then the Education Bureau director started doing math out loud with tears in his eyes, because this dead-end town that never places anyone has a freak show leading the entire province. My homeroom teacher got yelled at for reporting my ranking accurately. The commander of the city garrison publicly admitted my saber energy took him 3 years. Somewhere in there, my broadcast window quietly expanded to half the main screen, right next to Zhou Lei's. Zhou Lei, meanwhile, had teamed up with the 3 other city elites to explore the core zone, very carefully as a 4-man squad. They found my wolf massacre before they found any wolves. I'm told the tracker of the group smelled the blood of 30 corpses and nearly sat down. They stood in my leftovers doing detective work, points spiked here, core zone's empty, Wolf King has no head, and reached the obvious conclusion with the enthusiasm of men identifying their own tax audit. By then, I was standing in front of the exam's final boss, Vajra Demon Elephant. First tier, great perfection, 5 meters of black-furred violence with tusks like polished bridge girders and eyes that had never once been told no. The realm's landlord, the fairness monster nobody was supposed to meet. I'll be honest with you because this fight earned honesty. It nearly ate me. Its first charge grazes my shoulder, grazes, and I fly 3 meters and taste blood. My saber energy skates off its hide like a butter knife off a bank vault. The trunk comes down like a demolition crane. I parry, and the parry drives me into the ground to my ankles. At one point, I am flat in a crater with 2 ivory girders stabbing down at my chest, and the only reason I'm narrating this is that Golden Crow True Fire erupted on instinct and cooked the tusks mid-stab. The audience outside is screaming at me to crack my safety ball. My homeroom teacher is stomping a hole in the ground. But here's my secret. I'm hurt, I'm bleeding, and I'm having the time of my life. Because pressure is the one resource the system can't sell me. I get up, wipe my mouth, and stack everything I own onto one blade. Mastery level blazing flame slash braided with saber energy, a 10-foot edge of gold. The elephant blocks with a tusk. The slash takes the tusk, then the neck. The mountain of it sways, tips, and hits the ground with a sound like the realm applauding. My watch reads 21,550, a provincial official record, I'm later informed, though at that moment all I can hear is my own heartbeat and 4 sets of held breath in the tree line. "You've seen enough," I call out. "Come out!" Jolei and the city's finest shuffle out of the bushes wearing the exact face of 4 cats watching a dog do calculus. How? What? Since when? I give them the official legend. Mutation. Woke up one night on fire. Tragic. Very painful. Highly unverifiable. And show them a palm full of golden flame with the crow's silhouette turning inside it. The tracker kid's legs give out. Jolei's prized B-rank dagger is suddenly, visibly, a letter opener in his own mind. The exam's not over, I tell them, and walk off to keep farming, because sentiment doesn't compound, but points do. Behind me, I hear Jolei laugh, a good, bitter, honest laugh, and rally the others to go hunt whatever I haven't already invoiced. Final score, 25,432. Second place, somewhere in the 4 digits. The gap between me and the field isn't a lead anymore, it's a zip code. Walking out of that silver gate is the closest I've come to understanding pop stars. 10,000 students turn as one. The Education Bureau director sprints using ability user footwork, a grown bureaucrat, across the grounds to shake my hand. The crowd chants my name. A few brave souls confess on the spot to me, a man they have never met, covered in monster blood. Li Wei and his tiny flame comedy troupe stand in the middle of it all, gray as old laundry, and I don't even glance over. Rent-free is the only way I house my critics. The director tows me into a tent, pours tea with his own hands, and within 4 sentences I've been upgraded to Minghao, and he's been downgraded to Uncle Wei. He wants to hear it from me. Mutation, I say. Golden Crow Truefire. He inhales like a man about to buy a lottery ticket with insider numbers, promises me rewards, promises me the provincial top spot, hands me a business card so gold embossed it should count as jewelry. At the school gate, though, the day gets good for real. Guo Duoshi standing on her toes, waving both arms like she's landing a plane. My aunt with pride leaking through her calm like light under a door. My cousin shoves her phone in my face, the video of my elephant fight, tens of millions of views and climbing, and announces that every girl in her class wants an introduction, while my aunt physically reels her in by the collar. We walk home under the streetlights, Chu Yao chattering, my aunt wiping monster blood off my sleeve like it's jam, and I think, this is the thing I'm compounding for. Results day. The 4 of us crowd around my phone like it's a heart monitor. Name, Li Minghao. Points, 25,432. Rank, first in the city, first in the province. Chu Yao's scream sets off a car alarm, probably unrelated, but I choose to believe. Ding! Achievement complete. Provincial top scorer. Title unlocked. Favored son of heaven. 1,500 points. 9 Yang Heaven Burning Art, levels 4 through 6. The title sits there with a little tag on it, dormant, activates at university enrollment, like a paycheck I can see but not cash, which might be the single most realistic detail this system has ever produced. The provincial government wires me 5 million and a voucher to forge a C-grade weapon. The city adds another million. My phone rings until midnight with congratulations from people who 2 weeks ago could not have picked me out of a lineup of 2. And then, at nearly midnight, the doorbell. A middle-aged man in glasses and a suit that costs more than the door, radiating the kind of quiet pressure that makes your bones fill out paperwork. Wang Xuan, Admissions Office, Modu Academy, one of the 10 great federal universities. He's here at midnight because, and I quote, he came secretly. The 10 schools are supposed to compete fairly tomorrow. He'd like to compete unfairly tonight. I let him in on principle. I respect a man who treats recruiting like espionage. His offer, printed on paper thick enough to stop arrows, 500 academy credits, each one worth 10,000 federal, my pick of an S-rank skill plus 2 A ranks from their library, and full resourcing to break through something called the first order limit. That last one's new to me, and his eyes light up when I ask, because above great perfection, there's a hidden realm. Temper all 100 meridians to gold, and you get a flawless body, immune to every poison. Cultivation speed doubled forever. It's the difference between renting your body and owning it outright. I tell him I'll decide tomorrow with everyone else. He leaves his card and a smile that says he's already ordered my welcome banner. Tomorrow turns out to be an auction where I'm the painting. 10 admissions officers in one office, shouting over each other like commodity traders. Vermilion Bird Academy leads with their Nirvana pool and a 6th-tier mentor. Azure Dragon counters with Dragon Blood. White Tiger promises military rank. And then Wang Xuan stands up, adjusts his glasses, and drops the hammer. Modu Academy adds 1 item, a dean's personal disciple position. The room stops breathing. A dean of a top 10 academy is 7th-tier minimum, and 7th tiers don't take students, they take heirs. That's not a scholarship, that's adoption by a demigod. I choose Modu Academy. The losers congratulate Wang Xuan through their teeth and stampede off to fight over the province's 2nd place. My principal takes a commemorative photo with me and my admission letter, grinning so wide it looks structural. I'm told that photo lives on his desk to this day, and when students gawk at it, he just says, "Keep it down, keep it down." The last days at home, I put cultivation on a shelf. I eat my aunt's cooking. I walk Chu Yao to school and back and let her show me off like a parade float. On the final night, my aunt cries quietly into the dishes, and my cousin flees dinner early so nobody sees her do the same, and does it so badly the whole building hears. At the high-speed rail station, my aunt straightens my collar the way she's done since I was small. Chu Yao's eyes are swollen from a full night's work. She shakes her little fist at me, remember what you promised, visits every year, and I pat her head and lie only slightly about how fast the year will go. Your family will always be your support, my aunt says. I walk through the gate and don't look back, because the whole point of getting strong is making sure I never have to see these two cry at a train station again. Shanghai next, the big leagues. And somewhere in that city, a dean I've never met has already decided I'm the heir to something. I should probably find out to what. The train ride to Shanghai deserves its own short film. I'm in the window seat with a book called The Types of Knives, because my E-grade blade is already lagging behind my growth curve, and I have a C-grade forging voucher burning a hole in my pocket. Two girls take the seats beside me. Long Li Hua, long hair, polite. Xie Jingyi, short hair, suitcase heavier than her life choices. I heave their luggage up. They thank me. I go back to my book. Civilization functioning as intended. Then Guo Peng arrives. Designer shirt, C-rank ability, and the unshakable confidence of a man who has never once been the least interesting person in a room and doesn't know today's the day. He plants himself next to the girls and begins a self-guided tour of his own resume. Freshman at a Shanghai academy. Top 10 in the city, maybe top 5. He demonstrates his earth rock armor at his seat on a train, like a man showing you card tricks at a funeral. He clocks that Wang Li Hua keeps glancing at the quiet guy with the knife book, so he aims downward at me. Types of knives? Useless stuff. Real ability users rely on power. And where's classmate Chen headed? Some little support college? Let me know if you need connections. Thanks, but no need, I say, and turn the page. The tragedy lands at the platform. A voice booms my name across the crowd, and here comes Wang Xuan himself, recognized on sight by half the station, because apparently the admissions director of Modu Academy is a celebrity in this town. Guo Peng, smelling authority, physically inserts himself. Hello, I'm Guo Peng, C-rank. Which academy are you from? Wang Xuan looks at him for the amount of time it takes to scan a barcode. Move. Then he takes my hand with both of his. Classmate Chen, welcome to Modu Academy. I have watched a man's soul leave his body twice in my life. Both times were on that platform. Both times were Guo Peng. Once when he heard the words Modu Academy, and once when he replayed everything he'd said on the train. Wang Li Hua, meanwhile, finally places my name, the provincial top scorer everyone's been posting about. By the time I'm in Wang Xuan's car, she's on the phone with her big sister, saying words that will come back to bite me later. Sis, I found you a nice guy. The academy itself is architectural bullying, a gate 20 meters tall, a fountain you could sail, statues of past principals lining a lawn the size of my old district. My dorm is Villa number 1. The villa area is for key students, each building worth 100 million, and mine is the one in the middle with the observatory, walls made of energy-conducting material priced by the gram. The smart butler greets me by name, reports the hot spring is at 42 degrees, and I stand in the marble foyer thinking about my aunt's apartment, which I used to consider rich. On the coffee table, next to fruit I can't name, a handwritten card. Come see me in the dean's conference room, 2nd floor, Blade Technique Academy. Blade Technique, not the Fire Element Academy. Interesting. I look up my mystery master on the school site, and the page reads like a war crimes tribunal writing a fan letter. Wang Zhu, Saber Arts Grandmaster, 7th tier saint. 3 years ago, she relieved a besieged city by killing 1 million beasts and 3 7th tier demon saints, solo. Her breakthrough a decade ago reportedly painted 100 miles of sky. Her nickname is the Knife Demon. I put the phone down and drink my tea in silence. Director Liu, buddy, what did you sign me up for? The next morning, I walk past a stone saber the size of a monument. Inscription, 1 slash breaks all laws. Through a courtyard of 2nd-tier upperclassmen whose morning drills feel like standing inside a blender, and up to the conference room. Before I can knock, come in. The pressure hits like the sea deciding it lives in this office now. My knees file a complaint. Through blurring vision, I make out a tall figure with waist-length black hair, back turned, thoroughly unimpressed. I grit my teeth, brace my energy, and stand up straight inch by inch, sweating like a kettle. Not bad, says the knife demon, turning around. You didn't faint. Wang Xie looks maybe 30, pale, delicate, hair tied with a blood-red cord, right up until you see her eyes, which have the exact color scheme of her Wikipedia page. She reads out my file, then tells me why I'm here. It's not charity. 3 years ago, she looted an ancient ruin and came out with the corpse of a golden crow and an SS rank blade technique, a technique so violently yang that she, a 7th tier saint, cannot practice it. It's been gathering dust ever since, waiting for the one flame in the world it matches. Golden Crow Sky-Splitting Slash. The manual ignites the room just by existing. My fire howls back at it from inside my chest like a dog hearing the leash. I hit my knees and kowtow before she finishes the sentence. Master. I'm told I have a talent for recognizing good deals. To learn it, you'll need blade technique at mastery, she says, taking my bow like it's exact change. Every afternoon, you train with me. The first session is surgical humiliation. I swing until my arms are noodles, and she appears behind me without sound and lists 17 weaknesses, tapping each one on my body with a finger like a health inspector condemning a restaurant. Shoulder, lower back, wrist. Fatal this one. Then she teaches, properly, patiently, and I feel my blade work improve by the hour. I train until the clock tower says 21:47 and my stomach files for divorce. That night, the butler announces a package. Inside, the A-rank skill book, Fire Prison, on loan per our bet, return in 1 month, and a metal box breathing heat. A Tier 3 flame vine. Shuilan paid her spar debt in full, no reminder needed, with an address slip so I can ship the book back. Rich, proud, and punctual. I make a note to never actually be enemies with this woman. The vine plus a few system taps carries me to first tier great perfection that same night. Then I hit the cultivation technique building, flash my black gold card, the staff girl's spine straightens like it's been starched, and shop the A and Up fire catalog in a private viewing room. The holograms are pure food porn. Scorched Earth SSS turns geography into regret. Flame Dragon Dance SS. I settle on 3 within my means. Blazing Flamestorm, an S-rank triple fire tornado, Flame Burst Spear, A-rank artillery, and Setting Sun Tribulation Fire Saber, an A-rank blade art that stacks burn marks and then detonates them all with a 2-word safe word. The robot warns me an A-rank takes 6 months to learn. I thank it for its concern. 2 system dings later, I know both A-ranks like I wrote them. The training dummy rated for second-tier attacks melts into a puddle when I whisper burning bones. I stand over the alloy soup feeling the specific joy of a man whose new furniture all assembled itself. Naturally, this is when the doorbell rings with my first idiot, Han Li. Second place in the province, grandfather is a 6th-tier monarch, personality assembled entirely from other people's compliments. He's here to inform me that Villa number 1 is for the strongest freshman, that I don't deserve my exam score, and that he'll be proving both claims in the practice arena. He also does a thing with his middle finger that I assume cost his family a fortune in etiquette tutors. The whole school shows up, teachers in the front row. The billing writes itself, the commoner versus the young master. Han Li opens with his best, a thunderstorm impact. A lightning pillar thick as a barrel, genuinely respectable, scorches the whole ring. I answer with one vertical cut of blazing flame slash. His lightning splits in half like a log. His follow-up shield lasts 1 exchange, and then he's on his knees with my golden blade parked a few millimeters from his throat, close enough to tan. Too weak, I tell him, and sheathe. Your lightning never touched my clothes. He faints on the stage, not from injury, from arithmetic. After that, campus life finds its rhythm. Mornings for skills, afternoons for the knife demon. Wang Shuez shows me the next mountain, Nascent Blade Intent, the master-level realm where your cuts carry will, doubling in power and growing jong by jong. My homework for 3 months. The Academy also honors Clause 3 of my contract, Breakthrough Resources, and I burn Spirit Medicine after Spirit Medicine tempering meridians. 26 golden, then 67, each one harder than the last, like the world's most expensive punch card. The freshman competition lands in July, the whole cohort in a coliseum, 9 arenas by difficulty, Arena 9 holding an actual second-tier ironclad dragon. The gallery of my classmates goes about as expected, respectable kids fighting hard at arenas 3 through 6, until Chen Tai, the mountain-sized top scorer from Shanxi with Turtle God blood, walks into Arena 9 and tanks the dragon for 15 straight minutes without giving an inch. 97 points. Thunderous applause. The man smiles like first place is already engraved. Then they call my name, and I also pick Arena 9, and the dragon, fresh off its win, feeling itself, roars at me. 7 cuts of Setting Sun Tribulation Fire. Then I turn my back and walk away, which the audience reads as insanity because you don't show your spine to a second-tier beast. The dragon thinks so too. It's mid-pounce when I point one finger over my shoulder. Burning bones. 7 marks detonate at once. The armored landlord of Arena 9 drops like a dynamited chimney. 100 points. The examiner's voice cracks announcing it. The teachers are having a quiet crisis in the front row. An A-rank skill, learn to working level, inside 1 month of enrollment, when their in-house prodigies average 3. Somewhere in the stands, Han Li discovers new depths of the color white. First place buys me 1,000 credits, a spatial ring, a fire spirit ginseng, an A-rank skill voucher, and a follow-up field trip. In 7 days, everyone above 80 points enters the blood-refining secret realm for a month. I float back to the blade technique building to log my win with Master, and instead a silver saber energy takes a haircut's width off my nose at the door. There's a girl in the training room, 20-ish, tall, ponytail, dark training uniform, currently bisecting a test dummy so cleanly the cross-section reflects her smile. Standing there like a door god, she says. This is Wang Ruyi, my senior sister. 5th tier at 24, elite of the Dawnblade Guild, and, as I learn over the following 7 days, a war criminal in the specific jurisdiction of my body. Master's away at headquarters, she says, so she'll personally look after my foundations. Her idea of looking after my foundations is a triple-weighted wooden saber and beatings scheduled like vitamins. Every evening I crawl home purple, and the freshman rumor mill concludes I got caught peeping and was disciplined by the dean, which does wonders for my brand. I hate her. I write it in my heart with each bruise. Wang Ruyi, one day I will return every lesson with interest, respectfully, as family. Here's the stupid part. It works. The bruises heal hot, the meridians temper faster, my footwork stops being a suggestion. Between her beatings, the Academy's medicines, and the system quietly offering a temper 1 meridian 30 points button like a vending machine of divinity, I close out the 100. The last 4 meridians go golden at midnight before the secret realm trip. The whole network lights at once, 100 rivers of lava agreeing to be one ocean, and my body slams shut around the power like a vault door. First order limit, flawless body. Poison immunity, double recovery, double cultivation speed, and my blazing flame slash now fires on a thought where it used to need a wind-up. I flex one hand and the air crackles. Tomorrow, a second-tier realm full of things to hunt. Tonight, I stand at the villa window and think, with great warmth, of those Tier 2 beasts sleeping peacefully out there, unaware that they've been reclassified. Walking wallets, every one of them. The blood-refining secret realm briefing is short and has the mortality statistics of a mountaineering documentary. 3 rules from Dean Chin Hao: no fighting each other, run from what you can't kill, be at the teleport point in 1 month. Freshmen train in Stranglethorn Vale, sophomores get Lava Rift Valley, and the deepest zone, Boneyard Wasteland, is reserved for the top of the second-year leaderboard because everything in there considers a second-tier ability user a light snack. As I step into the teleport array, Han Li, recovered, demoted from the roster I put him off of, and marinating in it, locks eyes with me and mouths, "You're dead." Behind him lurks a sophomore cousin, Han Ming, second-tier minor Zenith, licking a throwing knife like hygiene is for the weak. Subtle boys, really. I've read quieter billboards. I skip the freshman Kitty Vale entirely and walk into Lava Rift Valley, where the air is soup and the soup is lava. My fire meridians drink the heat straight out of the atmosphere. For a Golden Crow user, this place isn't a hazard, it's a spa with fangs. First test subject, a lava giant turtle, second-tier late phase, shell like a parking garage. Setting sun tribulation fire opens the shell, burning bones closes the account. It leaves behind a walnut-sized fire crystal core, beast currency, forge fuel, and, most importantly, receipts. I farm my way down the rift. Lizards, pythons, a flame lion. The achievement counter sings. 500 points buys the breakthrough to second tier, and my Dantian condenses an energy lake 9 squares across, triple the standard size, courtesy of the flawless body. Because apparently, if you pay off the whole mortgage, the bank sends fruit baskets forever. Which is when the Chin family reunion catches up with me, cousin and all, wearing the smiles of men who've rehearsed a eulogy. They monologue. They really do. Han Li promises to pull my bones out one at a time. The cousin opens with a 1,000-feather kill, 7 wind blades splitting into a steel rain. I deflect all of it with one arc of my knife, listening to Han Li's voice crack on the words second stage as he finally, belatedly, reads my cultivation. Here's my policy position on people who follow you into a wilderness with murder planned. Policy applies. Fire prison drops around them, a burning cage 10 feet wide that eats even the wind the cousin throws at the walls. Flame burst spear goes in after them. Their shields last 1 heartbeat, layered wind and lightning popping like soap bubbles, and the explosion takes the discussion out of the fight. What's left begs. Han Li offers his grandfather's name. The cousin offers his grandfather's name louder. It's a 6th-tier name. It's supposed to be a bulletproof vest. In your next life, keep your eyes open, I tell him, and swing. 2 flicks of golden fire cremate the evidence down to the bloodstains. If the exam board asks, the lava around here is notoriously slippery. Am I cold? Maybe. But I've written 100 protagonists who spared the young master and spent 400 chapters paying for it. And I'm not dying to a genre convention I personally find lazy. Meanwhile, and I only learned this later, so enjoy the dramatic irony in real time, out in Boneyard Wasteland, 2 exchange students are hiking toward a legend. One is Yun Meng, silver hair, wings of literal light, a face the word holy was invented to undersell. The other is Zhang Chen, 3rd on the sophomore leaderboard. His family has ordered him to make the mysterious transfer student fall for him and equipped him for romance with, I want this on the record, a needle that seals a person's powers for 12 hours. His family motto is apparently, consent is a resource problem. Remember the needle. The needle matters later, and so does what happens to everyone in that bloodline. Back in my valley, I stumble onto a 4-man sophomore team gawking at one of my crime scenes, a fire lizard swarm I deleted that morning. Cho Ching, the team's support and resident golden retriever, spots me traveling alone, assumes I'm some struggling bottom-rank sophomore, and offers me a slot out of pure kindness. Her teammates object. She offers them half her mission earnings to let the sad transfer tag along. Half. For a stranger with volcanic ash on his cuffs. I joined for the detector. Their tech kid Shay Ming has a beast radar, and beast radar means efficient farming, but I stay, if I'm honest, a little bit for Zhou Qing. The comedy structure assembles itself. Guo Peng, the team lead, invites the charity case to try a solo kill on a second-tier scorpion, lightning ready to rescue me. 1 draw of my blade. The scorpion slides into 2 mirror-polished halves, and its own venom drop lands in the dust a full second after it dies. Guo Peng folds into a 90-degree bow so fast his spine whistles. By nightfall, he set up my tent, reserved me the flat ground, and achieved a personality transplant that medical science should study. And the days that follow are good, genuinely good. Shay Ming grills salamander tail over his blue flame. Zhou Qing overseasons everything. We hunt by day and split loot by night. And I let them keep half the materials because my spatial ring is 20 cubic meters and my kill rate is a supply chain problem. When they finally connect the dots, that the golden flame residue on every corpse in the valley matches mine, that the freshman named Li Minghao and their mute prodigy are the same guy, Guo Peng tries to give the loot back with shaking hands. Once given, it stays given. I need porters more than I need worship. The valley's grand finale comes at noon in a bone-littered clearing. A fire lizard king, second-tier minor zenith, and 50 of its closest relatives, fireballs weaving a net over the sky. My 4 teammates go through despair's greatest hits. Guo Peng laughing wrong, Zhang Bo's legs quitting, Shay Ming doing doomed math on his cracked lenses. And I'm standing there grinning like an idiot because I've seen this fireball formation before, from smaller lizards, and 50 walking point bundles have just arranged themselves into one convenient target. Blazing flamestorm. 3 pillars of golden fire braid into a dragon tornado 100 meters tall. It walks across the clearing, and everything it touches stops being biology. 3 breaths, 50-plus lizards, king included, gone, not dead, gone, ash that was scales drifting where a swarm used to be, and a 100-meter scar of vaporized rock smoking behind it. I turn around to check on the team. They're kneeling, all 4, not metaphorically. Next time, I offer, a little embarrassed, stand 300 meters back. Xie Ming crawls over, glasses cracked from the heat, and croaks the only question that matters. Was that the S-rank blazing flamestorm? Yes. The S-rank that takes prodigies a year? Yes. He sits down in the slag and stares at the horizon like it owes him an apology. After 10 days, I've functionally emptied the Rift Valley of large targets, and I tell the team I'm moving to Boneyard Wasteland. They stage a brief intervention. That's where leaderboard elites go to die, then read my face and give up. Xie Ming hands me his precious detector as a parting gift. Zhou Qing bites her lip and manages, be careful. And I leave them with the punchline I've been saving all week. When you deliver my share after the realm closes, ask for Li Minghao the freshman, not the sophomore. I walk off into the gray fog, listening to 4 brains blue screen simultaneously. Worth it. Boneyard Wasteland says hello with 20 bone wolves, led by a bone wolf king, second-tier great zenith, purple death fog dripping between its ribs. It's the best fight I've had in weeks, and that's the problem. When it's over, king detonated by stacked burn marks, pack blown apart by 1 spear, I check my haul, find 5,000 points banked from the week's slaughter, and get greedy. I spend it all at once. Blade to mastery, nascent blade intent unlocked, rank to second tier late, 3 skills upgraded, and the SS rank Golden Crow sky-splitting slash cracked open to entry level. 6 major upgrades, simultaneously, into one body. Rookie mistake. Author mistake. Even, I've written this exact scene as a cautionary beat, and did it anyway. The insights hit like a fire hose into a teacup. I'm on one knee coughing blood, meridians boiling, energy lake churning at 30 squares with a golden crow thrashing inside it like a toddler in a bathtub, when a pack of skeletal saber-toothed tigers smells the weakness and comes out of the fog. My saber light dies mid-swing, claws open my chest to the bone. For the first time since the elephant, the math is against me, and this time there's no crowd, no referee, no safety ball. I bite my tongue, burn the pain for focus, blow a hole in their flank with one desperate setting sun slash, and run, actually run, bleeding a dotted line across the bones of things that ran here before me. I make it several hundred meters before my legs vote no confidence. Face down, vision going, tiger breath on my neck. The last thing I hear is a cold, clear voice pronouncing a skill name like a verdict. Chains of divine punishment. I wake up to golden warmth stitching my wounds shut, and a girl sitting nearby who does not look real. Silver hair with light falling out of it, wings folded at her back. Pale gold eyes doing a full damage assessment of me with 0 emotional investment, like tech support for mortals. Yun Meng, the transfer student. She saved my life, and when I start swearing life debts at her, she cuts me off with, just something I did on the spur of the moment, and goes back to her fox fur mat, leaving me to recalibrate everything I know about my weight class. Because I can't read her depth at all, and I could read the Bone Wolf Kings just fine. Her travel companion returns at dusk carrying a lava deer, and one glance at Jiang Chen tells me everything the fog's been hiding. He presents the delicacy to Yun Meng like a cat delivering a bird. She says, no need, without opening her eyes. And his face, for a quarter of a second, is a room where something is rotting behind the wallpaper. Then the smile comes back on, and he offers the deer to me instead, all warmth, checking her reaction in his peripheral vision the entire time. I eat the deer. It's excellent for fire users, and I'm a practical invalid. But I also pay him 10 second-tier fire cores, framed as a thank you gift for Miss Mingxi's rescue, and watch pure greed swim across his eyes as he pockets what was addressed to her. Wonderful. He itemizes people. That's the whole man. He talks me into joining their expedition. There's a ruin out here, he says, leaning in. A saint's inheritance, sealed so only tier 2 and under can enter, unclaimed for decades. He needs an extra body for the beasts on the way. My legs need the escort while I heal. We shake hands, both lying, and set off as the wasteland's least sincere trio. The princess who trusts no one, the heir who wants everything, and the invalid who is neither as injured nor as second-tier late as advertised. Every day on the road, Yun Meng lands one holy light heal on me and leaves without a word. Every night I stack her light with my own sun and recover double time, while carefully walking with a limp I no longer have. Zhang Chen performs gallantry at me. Watch out, Brother Chen, I'll protect you. While in the privacy of the fog, he punches skeletons to powder and whispers her name at the needle in his ring. I know because the fog is not as private as he thinks. 7 days in, we reach the Valley of Skeletons, the ruins' front porch, and on the path we find 3 corpses, not nobodies. Top 10 names off the sophomore leaderboard, the Ice Star Sha Bing, the Blade Senior Guo Long, the tank Yang Kai. 3 elites dead so fast the ground barely shows a fight. Guo Long's head simply absent. Yun Meng crouches, touches a wound with holy light, and the light dims like it's touched something that eats light. A king beast, she says, and her fingers tighten on her sword. And that, her being nervous, is the loudest alarm I've ever heard. Then the fog ahead starts moving. 2 red lanterns ignite inside it, and the ground drums with footsteps that each land on your heartbeat. Too late to leave. It already knows we're here. The skeleton demon bear king walks out of the fog 5 meters tall, bones dark gold, 6 tusks, crimson fire where its eyes should be, and it brought 3 friends, every one of them second-order great perfection. 4 monsters, each one theoretically above everyone in our party. Theoretically. Yun Meng doesn't hesitate. Her wings snap open. A 6-winged angel phantom towers behind her, and she cages the king plus 1 bear inside a dome of holy light. This is my limit, she says, voice clipped. You 2 hold the other 2. Then she flies into the cage with the 2 worst things in the valley, alone, on purpose. Zhang Chen bites his tongue bloody and takes 1 bear with a fire python, screaming at me to lure the last one away and survive as long as I can. I do a very convincing panicked retreat, stumbling, whimpering, the works, until I'm a few hundred meters out of everyone's sightlines. Then I stop, turn around, and let the act fall off my face. Been a while since I went all out. Let's start with you, you clumsy bear. Nascent blade intent wakes up along my blade for its combat debut, and the air starts tearing quietly around the edge. The bear's dark gold claws are rated for second-order great perfection attacks. My first empowered slash takes a claw off at the wrist, cut face like a mirror. What follows isn't a fight so much as a scheduled demolition, burn marks stacked joint by joint, then 2 words, then a bear-shaped bonfire. Great perfection, my foot. Everything dies to compound interest. I'm mid-loot when the horizon goes white. Yun Meng's endgame, a 100-meter sword of light falling out of a torn sky, meeting the king's 50-meter claw of black mist. The shockwave flattens a kilometer of bone mountains. When I get back to the main field, there's a crater and a dying bear king dragging itself into the deep fog. And there's Yun Meng, on one knee at the crater's edge, robe shredded, shoulder open to the bone, coughing blood. She won, and paid retail for it. She still puts down the last regular bear with a thrown spear of light before her legs give, and Zhang Chen, hovering beside her, reaches out to support her. No need, she says, and turns her shoulder away. I want you to understand what happens to his face, because I was running toward them and I saw it arrive. Everything he's performed for weeks, the warmth, the worry, the gallant little laughs, drains out through a crack, and what's left underneath looks up at the exhausted girl and smiles. He takes out the needle. She's not helpless, even wrecked. She burns his first ambush out of the air, blasts him into a bone pile, breaks 3 of his ribs. So he crawls. He weeps. He slams his forehead on bone spurs and wails that love made him do it. And she hesitates, because she's 18 and no one's ever cried at her feet before. In that one soft second, the needle leaves his sleeve inside a fireball and grazes her shoulder. Black lines crawl from the scratch. Her holy light slows like a river freezing. Sealed. What he does next, I will not be describing in detail because he doesn't deserve the airtime. He hurts her and mocks her and strings her up with chains of fire, promising to break her pride piece by piece. She hangs there bleeding with her power locked away and looks at him the entire time like he's beneath contempt, spine intact in a body that isn't, promising him he'll pay. He raises a fire whip to start collecting on his obsession. The whip never lands. My blade arrives before I do, a dark red arc that shears through all 4 chains at once, and I catch her out of the air. She's feather light and shaking, and her eyes take a second to believe me. Sorry I'm late, I tell her, and mean every letter of it, and set her down gently before turning around, at which point gentleness closes for business. You, I inform Zhang Chen, are already dead. He tries pride first. How did you survive the bear? Then power, a head-sized fireball, split by 1 lazy cut. Then pedigree. I'm a direct heir of the Ye family. Our head is a 6th tier. Kill me and you're finished. And when the arm holding his family name lands in the dust, he finally finds his true self, the deepest layer, and offers to sell her to me. Take Yun Meng, do what you want, I won't tell anyone. Trash, I tell him, you don't get to say her name. I won't itemize the rest. It was thorough and it was slow, and when the fire finished, there wasn't enough left of the third-ranked sophomore to fill an urn. Some genre conventions I skip. Villain disposal is not one of them. Then I kneel next to Yun Meng with ointment and bandages and hands I make very, very steady. She wakes mid-treatment, sees her collar loosened and a man leaning over her, and for one terrible second files me next to him. The tears come before I can even speak. Then she registers the bandages already wrapped, the wounds already cleaned, and goes so red her ears could land aircraft. I badly pretend I noticed nothing. She badly pretends she wasn't crying. Between the two performances, something quietly unclenches. The seal needs 12 hours to fade, so we camp. She murmurs, "Cold," in her sleep, the ice princess of the wasteland. Cold. And I ring the campsite in golden fire and move her closer to it, and give her the tent while I take the doorway. Deep in the night, her voice comes small through the dark. "Thank you. You saved me." I say, like it's nothing, and grin at the fire like it's everything. And after I turn away, I'm told by no one in particular, she smiled too. Morning restores her factory settings. Holy light back online, wounds sealed, aloofness recalibrated, with exactly one new feature. She asks me to keep last night off the record, and when I agree without conditions, she looks lighter by about a kilogram. Then she pays out trust, the only way royalty knows how, with classified information. The ruin holds not one inheritance, but two, a fire saint and a light saint, mortally wounded killing a devil king, who leaked so much demon energy dying that it built this entire cursed wasteland. The Academy sends students every year, and nobody wins the real prize. Because the door needs two things nobody here has. Matching elements, one light, one fire, hello, and a key. She produces a golden feather older than the city we study in. The reason she ever tolerated Jiang Chen was that the trip needed a fire user. The trip just upgraded. She tells me all this and claims it's simply repayment for the rescue. Sure, and I read knife encyclopedias for the plot. The door itself is two caves hanging in the sky, one roaring flame, one flowing light, an entire dead saint's inner world each. Her feather plus our two elements splits the entrance. A red shield swallows me, a white one takes her. 3 hours on the clock. Come out on time, she orders, hovering at the seam of the light, and there's something in her voice that wasn't there yesterday. Inside is a world on fire that treats me like family. Lava paves itself flat under my feet. Spirit medicine grows wild. Tier 3, Tier 4, at the center, a 6th tier blazing sun Ganoderma that would headline a federal auction, and I harvest like a man robbing his own inheritance, which, as it turns out, is exactly what I'm doing. At the Burning Heaven Palace, 2 3-jong fire giants nearly execute me at the door, read my shield, and stand down. And inside, waiting in a sea of fire, is the ghost of the blazing flame saint himself, a pre-recorded soul, majestic, loud, and lonelier than he'd ever admit. His test, 100 fire puppets, 2nd tier late to intermediate. Every saint, he declares, could fight above his level in youth. Show me you can brawl. Brother. Brawling above my level is my entire business model, one blazing flame storm. The 100-puppet army exits existence without leaving ash. The saint's ghost stares at the empty floor, then bursts out laughing hard enough to shake the lava. 1,000 geniuses in his lifetime, he says, and not one like this. The inheritance comes in 3 parts. His signature SS rank axe manual, Blazing Sun Axe, useless to a knife man, entrusted to me anyway, with a request to find it a worthy heir someday, and I take that promise seriously enough to say it back formally. 2 flame puppets, 7th tier late stage, packed into stone beads, 3 attacks each on their dying power cores, which is 6 free apocalypses in my pocket for a rainy day. And then his voice changes, and he brings out the third thing, like a man opening a coffin. An egg. The Crimson Flame Maiden was his battle partner, a heaven and earth fire spirit who fought beside him his whole life and burned her own origin to cripple the Devil King so the 2 saints could finish it. She could have fled. She didn't. Afterward, dying himself, he spent every fire treasure he'd ever collected and a forbidden technique to recondense what was left of her into this egg. Not her, he's careful to say. Her bloodline. Her daughter in every way that matters. Potential. 8th tier. Supreme class, the kind of being empires build foreign policy around. If she acknowledges you, the ghost says, and the whole palace's fire leans in with him, treat her well, or I will find a way to collect, death notwithstanding. I look him in his burning eyes and promise, partner, for life, never betrayed. He measures me for a long moment and says one word, good. His figure starts to thin. I reach out on reflex and my hand goes through him. All good things end, he says, laughing at my face. Even saints are just people, boy. The only question that matters is whether you lived like one. The fire in the palace goes out, and I stand alone in the dark, holding an axe manual, 2 pocket apocalypses, and a warm egg, feeling like I just lost an uncle I met an hour ago. Yun Meng's side, I learn afterward, went differently. The Light Saint recognized the royal bloodline on sight and skipped the test entirely. She handed over the command talisman of the Holy Bright Knights, a legion led by 3 7th-tier saints, hers the day she reaches that realm herself, and spent her last light consolidating Yun Meng's cultivation into a second pair of wings. Different inheritance styles. Hers came with an army. Mine came with a daughter. I know which one I'd pick again. We meet at the seam as the caves slam shut, both changed, and compare exactly none of our notes out loud. Did it work? She asks. It worked, I say. And then, because she carried me into the single greatest windfall of my life on a family key, thank you. She turns her head away and fails to hide the corner of her mouth. The trip home writes its own ending. The skeleton demon bear king finds us again, healed, angrier, half a step from tier 3, looking for the girl who broke its bones. She steps in front of me to fight it alone. I let my sun rise instead. The 3-legged golden crow takes the sky over the wasteland, and Yun Meng stares up at my alleged Tier 2 secret like she's rethinking every conversation we've ever had. Stop gawking, I tell her. Ultimate moves out. Let's hit it together and see what happens. Her sky sword falls. My crow dives. They land at the same time. What happens is a crater and a valley with no more king in it. She rounds on me. You were sandbagging this whole time. Back at the camp, back at the bears, you absolute, and I plead innocent with the face of a man who is guilty and thriving. She storms off ahead. Her shoulders are shaking. It takes me 100 meters to be sure it's laughter. At the realm's exit gate, the whole surviving student body watches Yun Meng, the untouchable transfer goddess who 3-shotted their leaderboard champion, walk out of the death zone side by side with a freshman, chatting, smiling. The crowd noise does this wonderful seasick thing. Someone asks where Jiang Chen is. Someone else notices nobody knows. I keep my face bland and my step light, because the correct expression for having burned the 3rd-ranked sophomore out of the gene pool is no expression at all. The final tally the instructors read out is 39 dead classmates, 2 freshmen, 37 sophomores. This academy doesn't grow flowers in greenhouses, Instructor Feng Hui tells the Silent Rose, and you can quit anytime. Nobody quits. That's the school I chose, and honestly, it's the school I'd choose again. 1 month in the realm. In, 2nd-tier initial, alone, hunted by 2 idiots. Out, 2nd-tier late, with a saint's legacy in my ring, an egg against my chest, a friend I'd kill for, and a princess who, well, we'll get to the princess. The idiots did not come out at all. Officially, beast attack, tragic. The wilderness is so dangerous this time of year. While I was busy surviving, someone else was busy doing paperwork with a sword. Here's what happened to the Yi family, reconstructed from campus rumors and one very calm eyewitness account. The night after the realm closed, a woman in silver armor descended on their estate, injured every elder who objected in approximately 1 move, and carried off the family head, a 6th-tier powerhouse like a misbehaving cat. Soul Search confirmed the plot, the needle, the orders, the make her your woman briefing, all of it traced to the head himself. He was last seen begging to be someone's dog. The woman reported all this to Yun Meng in her villa, addressed her as Your Highness, and asked if anything further was required. A 6th tier is useless to me, said the girl who blushes when a fire sprite calls her mom. We're keeping a low profile. That's the Silver Sword Saint, a full saint, assigned by Yun Meng's father as a bodyguard. The father, for context, is the Emperor of the Holy Bright Empire, so the transfer student in my study group is a crown track imperial princess with a personal saint on retainer. And the reason I know none of this officially is that I'm not supposed to. I'm just the guy she saves her smiles for. There are worse jobs. One more thing happened in that villa, and I wouldn't learn it for a long time. The saint drafted a report to the emperor about a human boy named Li Minghao who hides his strength, saved her highness's life, and matters to her in ways princesses aren't budgeted for. Wrote it all out on the imperial gold paper, read it over, and erased it. Her highness returns home soon, the saint reasoned. The boy is a firefly next to a throne. Why complicate a girl's last free summer? Fireflies, ma'am, are underrated. But thank you for the extension. Back on campus, my routine assembles. Mornings with the founder's stone saber at the academy gate, a monument left by a half-step emperor whose blade will has survived 10,000 years out of sheer stubbornness. My first session with it, the intent inside notices me, approves of me, and force-feeds me 3 months of progress in 90 minutes. Nascent blade intent from 1 Zhang to 3. I walk into the training square afterward, and the entire second-year drill class puts down their weapons to stare at the freshman, leaking master-tier saber pressure. My master's only comment is that she'd planned 3 months for this. Her eyes say something less composed. Oh, and family lore. The monument's maker was surnamed Su. The founder of this academy, the half-step emperor, is my master's ancestor. The Su family's glory days now shrunk to 2 people, the knife demon herself and Wang Ruyi, who at this point in the story finds out 3 things in quick succession. That I reached 2nd tier late in 6 weeks, that the gold digger targeting her family she'd been beating daily was a scholarship orphan her master chose freely, and that the boy she tenderized for a week now outlevels her entire freshman year. Watching my senior sister discover guilt in real time is the finest theater on this campus. She can't apologize, sue family policy apparently, death before sorry. So she orbits me radiating remorse, offers extra lessons in a small voice, and flinches whenever I crack my wrists. I milk it, ruthlessly. I'm especially grateful for your guidance, senior sister, I say, doing her voice, and watch her rehearse my future revenge in her head like a horror trailer. The loot caravan arrives that week, Guo Peng and company hauling my half of a valley's worth of cores and materials to the villa door. They also deliver a warning in church whispers. Brother Chen, be careful around Yun Meng. Her backer just disappeared, a 6-tier family head. I furrow my brow. I gasp on cue. I say, I understand, with enormous gravity, and do not mention that the disappearing was done partly on my behalf, or that the family head's son is currently fertilizing a lava field with my signature on the work. Some knowledge is not for sharing. My face has a firewall now. Classes technically exist. I attend exactly one, Essentials of Blade Technique, taught by a scarred veteran named Wei Ironheart, who catches me zoning out during his beginner material and invites me, with maximal sarcasm, to come demonstrate what a blade is. I release 3 jang of nascent blade intent in a closed classroom. The results? Every student on their knees, one Ice Shield prodigy's shield gone before it finished forming, and Instructor Wei, himself a 6-foot intent man, applauding alone in the ringing silence before announcing I have full marks for the year and a standing invitation to never attend again. He then offers the same deal to anyone else who can show blade intent. The classroom develops a passionate interest in the floor. I take the hint and formalize it with Master. Full freedom from the curriculum if, by month's end, my intent hits 7 Zhang and my rank hits 2nd tier Great Zenith. She sets those numbers like they're cruel. I sign like it's a coupon. Midweek, my smart butler ambushes me with a message that ages me a year. Shui Lan came by. She left one sentence. When are you returning the skill you owe me? The fire prison book. Due back a month ago. In my defense, I was in a death realm with no cell service. In her defense, I did learn her A-rank loner in 1 day and then ghosted her like a bad tenant. I call. She answers in 2 rings and says my name, then the word skills, then silence with an audible raised eyebrow. We book lunch. Lunch comes with a bonus character, Xie Jingru, Shui Lan's best friend from Vermilion Bird Academy. Doll-faced, 3rd strongest of their freshmen, 0 filter. Officially, she's here to scout me for the coming exchange tournament. Unofficially, she's here to say things that make Shui Lan want to enter witness protection. When I hand back the fire prison manual, she gasps. Is that a token of love? Is this fire user romance? And both of us freeze with the book suspended between us like a live grenade. When she asks my current strength, subtle as a billboard, I tell her the plain truth. I'm invincible at tier 2. She laughs so hard, she sprays soup. At least make up something believable. You know what? Fine. I've learned something about honesty in this world. Nobody ensures it. Say the truth confidently enough, and it files itself under comedy. Cheapest disguise on the market. The real casualty of lunch is Shui Lan's composure. Her friend loudly recounts that Shui Lan is undefeated royalty at Vermilion Bird. And afterward, when Xiao Yu marvels that I once tied with her, Shui Lan stares into the middle distance and quietly corrects the record. She lost. Then, before her friend's jaw finishes dropping, she ignites, declares she's 10 times stronger now, and promises to take the tournament. Good. Bring all of it. Friendly fires burn hottest. I spend my freshman competition voucher on mobility. Blazing wheel stride, A rank, twin wheels of fire under my feet, real flight. I get so excited testing it that I do laps inside the Cultivation Technique building's reading room until the fire alarm and an outraged robot shut me down. A formal warning is entered on my spotless record. Released supernatural ability in the library. Somewhere, my past life's librarian feels a disturbance and doesn't know why. That evening, the doorbell rings, and it's the good kind of ambush. Yun Meng, moonlit, holding my outer robe, the one I'd wrapped around her in the wasteland, washed, folded, and delivered in person by an imperial princess doing her own laundry errands. I invite her in with the fawning grin of a man whose evening just got promoted. Over tea, I pitch the plan I've been circling. Shadowy marsh, the death wetlands, poison fog, dark element beasts, a rumored 4th tier python in the middle, and a perfect farm for someone whose light element hard counters the entire biome. Team up with me? Okay, she says before I finish the sales deck. You don't want to ask how dangerous it is. What if I get you killed? She looks at me over the teacup, level as a horizon. Because I believe you. I've been paid in a lot of currencies. That one I'm keeping. We spend the evening over a holographic map, her leaning into the projection glow, me narrating crocodile territories like a tour guide with a death wish, the tea going cold, and neither of us moving to fix it. Before she leaves, I finally ask the question I've been sitting on, her ability, SS rank Holy Angel? She says, 1 syllable, casually confirming she's the rarest thing humanity produces in a generation. Then she needles me about my own sandbagging, tells me she'll come watch my tournament, and walks off into the dark with her ears pink. I stand at the window doing math I have no business doing. Rich, brilliant, Brilliant, lethal, kind under all that frost, and me, a system cheat with a body count and a laundry-fresh robe. I've written this novel. The family always objects around chapter 200. Assassins, ultimatums, a tearful airport. So we keep it unnamed, this thing, at exactly the distance where no emperor feels the need to weigh in. For now, I tell the window, every protagonist's favorite 2 words. The tournament prep week supplies its own sacrificial volunteer. Guo Tao, freshman number 3, Frostwolf ability, fresh off a family-funded breakthrough, greets my arrival at team training with a sneer and escalates through the meeting until he's demanded a duel in front of instructor Feng Hui. The instructor sighs the sigh of a man watching someone lick a frozen pole and tells me to go easy. I go easy. I use one kick. Specifically, I kick a wheel of blazing wheel stride at him, my movement skill, the one with no attack rating, and his prized frost claws vaporize along with his eyebrows and his tournament eligibility. As they stretcher him out, I remind the room that this was me holding back, which is technically the truest thing I've said all week and lands like a threat anyway. When Feng Hui later suggests friendly intra-team sparring, 5 elite freshmen decline in unison like a choir. The rumor of Guo Tao's injuries reaches Vermilion Bird within hours, where, I learn all this later, it triggers celebration, confusion, and finally, a war council. Their instructor unveils the Vermilion Bird Spirit Gathering Array. 7 talismans, 7 users, all their power poured into one fighter. The catch is, the vessel needs a body and will that can hold 7-fold power without bursting. Every head turns to Shuilan, and Shuilan says yes, because Shuilan is carrying a secret with a deadline. Her clan took her to their ancestral fire world after awakening, a pocket dimension where a phoenix nirvana pool churns with the blood of their founding ancestress, a woman who reached SS rank and became, functionally, a phoenix in human skin. Shuilan's S-rank flame is a shard of that bloodline, and with the ancestor's essence blood plus 1 missing ingredient, it can evolve to SS. The missing ingredient is Vermilion Bird blood, awarded to students who perform miracles at her academy. So the girl who lost to me in a bamboo forest now has a drop of true phoenix blood in her veins, an evolution on layaway, and a tournament to win. I want to be clear about my feelings here. Delighted. Genuinely. Rivals are like sourdough starters. Feed them right and they rise forever. Tournament day. 20 universities, all top 100, packed stadium, media drones thick as gnats, live feed to the whole federation. In the front row of the stands, a silver-haired girl pretends she came for the atmosphere. My communicator buzzes once before the draw. Keep it up. Signed with one name. I grin at my screen until senior sister Wang Ruyi materializes at my shoulder, asking which beauty I'm staring at, because she came back to campus specifically to torment me on a day I can't retaliate. Quick word about my senior sister, courtesy of this morning. She greets the venerable instructor Feng Hui with, "Old bye, you've gone grayer," and instead of disciplinary action, she receives grandfatherly doting. Turns out the Dawnblade elite who took down a Dark Abyss stronghold last month grew up on this campus, mimicking sword drills through the fence. The lawless little devil is campus royalty. My bruises and I feel both vindicated and doomed. There's also a system notification waiting for me on the arena steps, and it's a fat one. Task: take first place for Modu Academy. Reward: 2,000 points plus a +1 proficiency to any skill or cultivation technique. I ask the obvious question, does that +1 work on Nanyang Heaven Burning Art, the technique that's been parked at level 1 for 2 months because its price tag looks like a phone number? It does, up to level 3. So understand my mindset when I tell instructor Feng Hui to put me on first and let me fight everyone. It's not arrogance, it's payroll. Every camera pointed at me feeds the favored son of heaven title. Every headline compounds my daily income, and the fastest way to be every headline is to be the only story. Feng Hui blinks at his ace demanding the opener, hears me say the other 6 can nap, and approves it with the face of a man who has stopped fighting the weather. First round, Cloud Peak Academy, ranked 53rd federally. Their ace, Wen Jie, opens with a lightning spear that could pierce late Tier 2 beast scales. I flick 1 3-foot saber energy, his spear snaps, he leaves the stage horizontally, and his last conscious act is asking the sky if that's really the strength of a freshman champion. Their second guy lasts the same 1 move, and their third. Around number 5, the venue's cheering acquires a rhythm, and their 6th man mounts the stage, raises both hands before the whistle, and announces, "I concede, I don't want to be carried off." The whole stadium loses it. Cloud Peak's stern old instructor slumps into his chair and tells his kids the loss was not unjust, which, respect, 7 for 7, under 10 minutes. The scoreboard shows 19 silver school crests and 1 gray tombstone with an X on it. Meanwhile, on the far arenas, Shui Lan is having the tournament she trained for, cutting through the Molten Core lineup 4 in a row, Phoenix Phantom blazing over the stage. She wins her round, catches me watching, and gets a genuine congratulations smile out of me. Opponents, but friends. I'm told her instructor found her composure afterwards suspiciously improved. Second round, Tianjin Academy, ranked 13th, music-based abilities, close ties to a super guild. I request all 7 again. This time it's taken as an insult with witnesses, so all 7 come, arraying themselves like the Big Dipper with their ace Jo Mei and her A-rank heavenly sound zither in the middle. 7 phantom instruments rise. Their combined chord attack warps space on the way in, a genuinely beautiful, genuinely deadly wall of sevenfold sound. I answer with one flame burst spear. The spear drills the rainbow apart, cracks their emergency fusion zither like an egg, and lands in the middle of the formation with a mushroom cloud. 7 elites of the 13th school in the Federation, unconscious around a 6-meter crater from one javelin throw. On the guest benches, their instructor's teacup hits the floor. In the stands, someone has begun calling me the Great Devil King, and I would object, but the title is doing numbers for my daily income, so the Great Devil King I shall be. I break for lunch, priorities, and find Yunmeng waiting outside the arena doors in the sunlight, silver hair full of ice crystal pins. "Congratulations, I'll wait for you," she says, and my heart does a thing I decline to describe on a combat broadcast. We walk to the cafeteria through falling sycamore shade, and I tell her tomorrow after victory plans like they're already fact, and she says okay to all of them, and objects only when I propose splitting the Marsh mission rewards. "No need to count so clearly," she says. "Even brothers keep clean accounts," I tell her. "Who's your brother?" she mutters, and doesn't take it back. Afternoon bracket. I draw a bye while Vermilion Bird and Gendu Academy fight for the other finals slot. My semifinal, when it comes, is the shortest match in tournament history. Gendu's ace Wang Jun, a genuinely sharp water sword prodigy, walks up, looks at me, and concedes on behalf of his whole team to save their strength for the second-place match. Smartest man in the building. I mentally send him flowers. He then proves the brains are load-bearing by fighting Shuilan for the finals slot in a water versus fire classic that steams up the whole stadium. His first-order limit-powered Abyss-heavy water slash against her Crimson Meteor. Her spear drills through his black sword light and wins it clean. She bows to him afterward, opponent to opponent. Somewhere in that exchange you can see exactly who these two would have been this year, the twin favorites, the storyline, if a certain system user hadn't enrolled. Final. Modu versus Vermilion Bird. I say the line, "All 7 please," and this time, nobody boos. They've adjusted. And Vermilion Bird walks up the stairs holding 7 crimson talismans, and I feel my eyebrows rise because this is new. The spirit gathering array ignites. 6 of them collapse where they stand, drained white, and everything they are pours into the girl at the formation's heart. Shuilan's aura climbs the whole staircase, middle, late, minor, extreme, and slams to a stop at second-tier intermediate extreme, my exact rank. The stadium's pressure doubles. On the instructor's bench, Feng Hui is on his feet, looking genuinely worried for me for the first time all day. And me? I draw my knife. First time all tournament. The crowd notices. The crowd goes feral. She comes in like the point of a comet, and we exchange for real. Spear and saber, phoenix fire and crow fire, dozens of blows that peel the arena's alloy plating off in sheets. Her borrowed power is real. Her spear work is real. For a few glorious exchanges, second row center of a federal broadcast, I get an actual fight, and I could kiss the entire Vermilion Bird coaching staff for engineering it. Then her meridians start burning down around the borrowed load. 7 people's power is a rental with brutal late fees, and she goes all in while she still can. The Crimson Meteor, everything she has, spear thrown like the sky's own javelin, flame patterns crawling the shaft. I put my knife away. Half the stadium reads it as surrender. The other half is Shuilan, mid-throw, who knows me better. I answer her signature with her signature, a spear of my own, condensed from golden fire, 2 jong of compressed sun. Hers is crimson, mine is dawn. They meet at center stage. The explosion deletes the arena, not damages. Deletes, 30 meters of it, down to a crater, drones vaporized, the shockwave parting the crowd's hair in row 40. When the light drains, she's on one knee at the crater's rim, spear planted 10 meters away, blood at the corner of her mouth, borrowed fire guttering out. My clothes haven't moved. "I lost," she says for the second time in her life, both times to me, and passes out cold, and I cross the crater fast enough to catch her before the ground does. The referee pulls the 6 drained Vermilion Bird kids. 2 of them are unconscious. The rest wave the whitest flags their arms can manage. Champion, Modu Academy. The stands chant the Devil King thing. Confetti happens. A banner with my name on it, wielded by strangers, and in the front row, one silver-haired girl records the whole ceremony on her phone with a tiny proud smile. Right up until she notices whose spear-throwing rival is currently unconscious in my arms. Per multiple eyewitnesses, the smile becomes something cooler, and a small fist clenches. I will be hearing about this. I look forward to it. The prize table, a crystal cup with eternal fire in it, a pass to the heaven-burning tower, the Fire Academy's Cultivation Holy Land, best saved for my next breakthrough, per Dean Chin Hao's pointed advice, and, from the system, the jackpot. 2,000 points and the +1. That night, I spend it all in one sitting. 9 Yang Heaven-Burning Art, level 2 by points, level 3 by voucher. 2 new suns rise behind me and dock into formation with the first. Rank breaks through to second-tier Great Zenith on the spot, Master's monthly quota, cleared with 3 weeks to spare. And the technique's 3rd level unlocks the part no manual warned me about. A golden mulberry tree growing out of the floor of my mind, every leaf aflame, my three-legged crow flying up to roost in its crown like it's come home. Two new secret techniques burn themselves into my soul, Great Sun Fusang, and one called the Sun God Pact, a contract art, one sacred pact that supercharges a partner's growth, and, at higher levels, the capacity to bind fire beasts to my service by the squad. I sit in the wreckage of my dignity, grinning at a tree only I can see. One man can be an army, but why stop there when you can be an army's HR department? Also, small administrative note, my master. When the school board grumbled about Guo Tao's hospital bill, Wang Shui shut it down without telling me and personally guaranteed I'd take first. I found out from Feng Hui after. So when she asked what reward I wanted, I did what any grateful disciple would do. Open negotiations at an SSS-grade battle knife. The temperature in her office dropped 40 degrees. Famous swords hummed on the walls. S-grade, said the knife demon, whose nickname no one negotiates with. Take it or leave it, and it becomes A if you keep talking. I took the S. It's called Crimson Flame, Fire Conduction plus 20%, Blade Arts plus 10, and when I gripped it in the armory, the whole blade lit like it had been waiting. The staff girl who escorted me looked at the freshman walking out with a weapon rated for 4th tiers and visibly rewrote her worldview. My master watched me bow my way out of her office with my new toy, and I'm told that after the door closed, the knife demon of the Federation smiled and called me a rascal in the same tone my aunt uses. Two people bargain with her in this world. The other one is Wang Ruyi. I'm in good company. The championship's best aftershock arrives by phone. I hit redial on a dozen missed calls and nearly lose an eardrum to Guo Ruoshi screaming that the whole city knows. The principal talked about me at assembly. Everyone at her school is asking for my autograph through her. My aunt takes the phone, says be careful out there, in that voice that folds 20 warnings into 4 words. And for a minute, the villa with the observatory feels smaller and warmer than it has any right to. Come home for New Year, my cousin yells from the background, so I can absorb your luck. I promise. It's a promise I intend to keep, which, in this genre, with my luck, is exactly the kind of sentence you should worry about. Because in a manor in Ninghai City, a man named Han De is standing in his study, crushing a report about the tournament in his fist. Han Li's father, second in command of the Qin family. He sent his son to the academy with high hopes and his nephew as backup muscle. Both came home as condolence letters, and the freshman his son swore to crush came home a Federation-wide celebrity. He doesn't have proof. He has a father's arithmetic, a career's worth of malice, and, as of this week, informants reporting my movements in real time. When he hears whose backer disappeared the Ye family, he breaks a pen in his own hand. And then he says the words that officially open my next volume. Watch them. Don't alert them. The hatred of a slain son is irreconcilable, sir. I look forward to being irreconciled. I know none of this on the morning Yun Meng and I board the high-speed rail out of Shanghai, headed for Qinglan City and the shadowy marsh. What I know is this. My ring holds a saint's medicine cabinet, my belt holds an S-grade knife, my chest pocket holds a very warm egg with almost every pattern lit, and across the aisle sits a princess watching the scenery with her hair in a gold ribbon. As far as I'm concerned, the volume ends well. In Qinglan, we register at the Hunter Guild, a black pyramid full of scarred professionals, and walk out with gray iron badges, the bottom of a ladder that runs up through gold and obsidian to the Hunter King. The system, bless its mercantile heart, immediately mints me a new title. Ash Iron Hunter, 20 points a day, upgradable. My cheat gave me a career track. My cheat has better financial planning than my last publisher. The wilderness between city and marsh is the honest version of this world. We fly it, her on wings of light, me surfing twin fire wheels over abandoned camps and unburied hunters, family photos scattered next to claw marks. The city kids talk about beasts like weather. Out here, it's just the food chain with paperwork. I look at it all and the old promise tightens another notch, strong enough that nobody I love ever becomes a scene like this. The marsh itself is purple fog and black water, rated death wetlands by people who survived it. Yun Meng raises a dome of holy light and the poison peels off it like rain off glass, hard counter, as advertised. We make camp on dry high ground. I grill fire beast ribs over crow flame, and then, with the whole night ahead of us, I set the egg in a nest of every fire treasure I have left, and we wait. It hatches at midnight. The shell webs with cracks, the light inside builds until the swamp fog blushes red for a mile, and then the shell bursts, and hovering in the afterglow is a palm-sized girl. Fire red hair, a tiny crimson dress, amber glass skin with embers underneath. She opens her eyes, looks straight at me, and makes a sound like a wind chime learning to talk. Through the contract, the sound has subtitles. She's calling me Dad. I'd like to report that I handled this with the composure of a great devil king. I extended one careful hand, and she landed in my palm and rubbed her face on my fingers. And somewhere in my chest, a demolition crew took out a wall I'd been maintaining for 2 lifetimes. The blazing flame saint spent everything he had so this little thing could exist. Old man, wherever you are, Received and understood. We name her Yanhua, Crimson Sky. Yun Meng suggests the naming ceremony, then spends it being climbed like a jungle gym as Yanhua discovers silver hair and declares it hers. And then the little gremlin flutters over to Yun Meng's ear, babbles a long sentence, and turns to me expectantly. And Yun Meng wants a translation, and I attempt diplomacy, and Yun Meng leans in with that undeniable royal speak, and I crack. She keeps calling you Mom. The campfire crackles into a silence you could frame and hang in a museum. Yun Meng turns the color of her own title, disappears behind her hair, and later that night, when she thinks I'm asleep on watch, I hear her whisper, "Little idiot," at the dozing sprite in a voice with no frost in it at all. The morning delivers the punchline of punchlines. Yanhua, who went to sleep newborn, wakes up at great perfection 3rd tier. She ate her own eggshell as a midnight snack and leveled past me. I've spent 2 lifetimes grinding, and my daughter speedran my whole ledger in 1 nap, drooling on my shirt the entire time. Who's the cheat here? I ask her. Me or you? Iya, she says, which I choose to translate as, we are, Dad. Family business. And the marsh, the deadly, dreaded marsh, turns into take your daughter to work day. Poison pythons rise from the water. She waves a tiny hand and a wash of crimson light turns them to ash before they finish hissing. A 3rd tier shadow crocodile ambushes us. She pats it on the head, roughly the way you'd bless it, and it stops existing. Her flame is Crimson Cloud Heart Flame, her mother's legacy, the fire that burns and heals both. And the system, scanning my glorified babysitting, rings up her kills on my account. Ding! First 3rd tier vicious beast kill, 800 points. I stand in the smoking swamp holding a giggling fire sprite next to a princess whose guardian saint is shadowing us somewhere overhead. Ahead, a hit list of achievement titles and an SS rank upgrade for my own flame waiting at the end of the points rainbow. 1 year ago, I was an office drone whose boldest dream was a weekend without overtime. Today my knife came from a saint, my daughter one-shots crocodiles, and the strongest freshman in the Federation is my own reflection. So here's where I leave you, and I want you to picture it exactly. A crimson-lit marsh at the edge of the map. 10 crocodiles and their scarred boss surfacing for a fight they cannot conceive of losing. Me, cracking my neck, spear of golden fire condensing in one hand, about to farm my way toward godhood, one achievement at a time. And far behind us, back in the bright, safe city, a phone lighting up in a dead boy's father's hand. 2 hunters, gray iron badges, left through the west gate toward shadowy marsh. No escort, no backup. The man on the other end smiles for the first time since the funeral and starts making calls. Farm fast, Li Minghao. The bill for your first villain arc is already in the mail, and this one isn't a classmate. This one has a clan, a fortune, nothing left to lose, and my home address. Ask me if I'm scared. Go on, ask. I've got a system, a saint's arsenal, a fire sprite daughter, and a princess who thinks I'm worth believing in. Send the bill. I burn paper for a living.